Angels, and tonight taking on the Detroit Tigers. The Tigers have been a tough opponent for the Rangers over the last couple of years, but the Rangers got them last night and got them good. We welcome you to Texas Ranger Baseball along with Tom Grieve. I'm Josh Lewin. It is Doug Mathis in tonight for Vicente Padilla. Vicente just can't shake that flu bug, and, well, Doug Mathis will take his turn tonight. Doug Mathis out of the bullpen has been great.
Doug has been pitching really well out of the bullpen. For the second time in 3 days, a Ranger reliever is going to have to pick up for a Ranger starter. Dustin Nippert picked up for Kevin Millwood. Now Doug is going to try to pick up for Padilla. He's pitched 10 times in relief, 17 shutout innings. He's a better pitcher right now than he was when he started earlier. Certainly better now, just like Tommy Hunter, than he was when he started last year. He's got great movement on a sinker. All his pitches are working. It's a nice opportunity for him, and hopefully Doug will take advantage of it.
Much better in the bullpen than as a starter in his brief major league career, but the Rangers are confident he's got the goods tonight. The offense should show up. Michael Young has absolutely been doing that. 9 for his last 12 at-bats. The Rangers and the Tigers play ball next. Ball brought to you by the Ford F-150. It's not just a pickup truck, it's a Ford F-150. By Progressive. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. By Jack in the Box. Right now, get the $2.99 big deal. And by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com, grab your bag, it's on. Tommy Hunter emerged as the man last night. After giving up a home run to Curtis Granderson 2 pitches into the game, he settled down and how. Now it is Doug Mathis tonight trying to deal with Granderson and the Tigers. Let's show you who's coming up where and when. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Granderson, Polanco, and Thomas. Cabrera, Guillen, and Mags Ordonez. Brandon Inge, Ramon Santiago, and Dusty Ryan. And they're in place of the former Ranger Gerald Laird tonight. As for Doug Mathis, the Show Low, Arizona native, we're going to scout him out. Brought to you by the Dallas County Community College District. And we'll get back to doing that, I guess, right now.
Doug has pitched, as we said in the open, much better in relief than he has as a starter this year. His start, 5 innings, gave up 4 earned runs. The one thing he's done in relief, he's been much more aggressive. He's gone after the hitters, and his stuff is good enough to do that because he's got good movement on his fastball. I think in a couple of his starts, he was a little too careful, threw a lot of pitches, got behind a little bit. But in relief, he's gone right after the hitters, got ahead of the hitters, used all his pitches, and been very effective. And I think if he comes into tonight's game and has the same mentality as he has in his 10 relief outings, everything's going to work well for him.
And again, because Padilla's not fully functional yet, Mathis gets that opportunity tonight. That one start that he had back on June the 9th, that was against Toronto. That was in place of Brandon McCarthy at the last moment. He actually had a real good first inning. The second inning was a bit of a wipeout. By the end of that game, it was 5 runs in 5 innings. Mathis knows that that's not going to cut it these days. The Rangers, as a team, their ERA since the All-Star break is in the 2s. Lowest in the American League, 2.74 since the All-Star break. Kinsler will charge and make the play on Granderson. And a nice start for Doug Mathis.
Yeah, already in that at bat, you saw a good curveball for an out and a good cut fastball.
The cutter seems to be the pitch that's really getting it done for a lot of these Ranger pitchers. Scott Feldman, of course, we've seen it from Tommy Hunter. Take a look at the Ranger defense tonight. Salt Lamakia works with Mathis.
It's the second time that a Ranger reliever has had to step in because Padilla's been sick. It was Dustin Nippert a while back, had the start against the Red Sox and pitched great. And Dustin pitched in for Kevin Millwood when he had to come out of the game with the pulled muscle. And now it's Doug coming in, filling in for Padilla. Nippert did a great job twice. And look for Doug to have the same kind of game tonight. And there it is, July 22nd. What a game he pitched against the Red Sox, and he was just as good against Kansas City in relief for Dustin Nippert.
Polanco shoots one out to center for Josh Hamilton. Easy pickings for Hambo, and he made a heck of a catch in right field yesterday going across that foul line. There's Dustin Nippert, who has been an invaluable member of this Rangers team as it's turned out here in July.
Sure has.
Nippert and Tommy Hunter have combined for 5 of the 7 wins the Rangers have since the All-Star break.
I don't think it's unusual for a young pitcher to come up to the big leagues from the minor leagues and feel like he has to be even better and do even more to get big league hitters out. You come up with the feeling that, okay, AAA hitters are good, but now it gets really tough. And that's true to a certain extent, but you have to really concentrate to do the same things in the big leagues that you were doing at AAA and not try to do more than you're capable of doing. And that sounds trite, and you hear it all the time. Don't try to do too much, but there's a lot to that for a pitcher. Because when you try to do too much, you get behind the hitters, you walk hitters, you get in trouble, and then that one pitch that's hit hard turns out to hurt so much because you've got men on base. I think if you trust your stuff, and Doug's got good stuff, his fastball is 89 to 92 miles an hour. He's got good movement on it, good pitches to go along with it. And I have to think his 10 relief outings have given him a lot of confidence for this start tonight.
And as for Tommy Hunter, I think all the guys really appreciate it. The Geico quote comes from Michael Young. Got the second best ERA in the American League the last 4 weeks. Does Tommy Hunter. Only Oakland's youngster Brett Anderson has been any better since the end of June. I like the mentality now. I mean, with Tommy Hunter doing what he's doing, Dustin Nippert doing what he's doing, it's almost like, as you alluded to, Tag, Doug Mathis kind of just tacitly looks around and says, well, I guess if I want to be in the club here, if I want to stay in the fraternity, I got to do that too. The pitchers are feeding off each other right now. A strikeout of Clete Thomas. A 1-2-3 first inning for Doug Mathis.
And that's the cutter right there. Good pitch.
We're going to talk more about that pitch and the art of throwing it as we go tonight. Luke French will be on the mound for the Tigers when we come back. No score, bottom one. The Rangers set to come up against the rookie lefty Luke French. And the Rangers come up this way. The Southwest Airlines batting order for you. Kinsler, Young, and Bird tonight. The Rangers load up with right-handed hitters. And Michael Young, the 3 straight 3-hit games. No Ranger has ever had 4 consecutive 3-hit games. Michael will have that shot tonight. After Bird, it's Cruz, Blaylock, and Jones, and Hamilton again hitting 7th, trying to take the pressure off of Josh a bit. Saltalamacchia and Andrews finish it up. We will start it up here, scouting out Luke French with the Dallas County Community College District Scouting Report.
Well, he's pitched well. 2.22 ERA, not too bad. 2 or fewer runs in all 4 of his starts.
Kinsler right away, a bouncing ball, booted by Santiago. He recovers. Too late. An E6 to begin things for the Rangers tonight.
Santiago getting the start tonight. Adam Everett started last night. Gets in front of the ball easily. It takes a little hop on him. Comes up. He fields it quickly. And if you're not hustling, you'll be out on that play. If you do hustle, you beat it out. You get on an error. You have that leadoff man on base.
And it brings up the hottest hitter going, Michael Young, 9 for his last 12 with the 3 straight 3 for 4 games. And these are not cheapy little hits either of late. That home run he hit last night, the longest he's ever hit in this ballpark, Tag, 448 feet.
Yeah, and the 2 base hits he had to center field were line shots. He hit the ball hard 3 times last night. French was an 8th round pick back in 2004. 2008, 2007, he was 14 and 25 in A-ball and AA.
This one heading towards the right field corner. Maglio Ordonez settles under it. Kinsler tags. Heading to second base, and he is going to toddle on in there.
That's having a good scouting report, knowing that you can run on certain outfielders. Watch the way he fields the ball, how deep he is. That was an easy play at second base. Easy call for Ian with his speed. But sometimes you take that play for granted. You go halfway and you trot back to first base. Instead, you know he's going to catch the ball. I don't think Ordonez thought he was going to go in the first place. The other side of it is, even if he did think he was going to go, I don't think he could have thrown him out anyway. But another example of good aggressive base running. We say that almost every night watching the Rangers play.
There was a story in Sports Illustrated a week or two ago about base running and how aggressive base running can help you win, on average, the statisticians say, maybe 3 or 4 extra games a year. And it's not so much as stealing the bases, it's just being smart.
Well, I think the Rangers would probably, watching the Rangers, I would concur with that, because I think we have probably won a couple of extra games this year because of good base running, aggressive base running.
Marlon Byrd is going to chip one up in the air. Polanco, who's into a 60th game in a row without an error out there at second base, squeezes it. He's got the big league record. At one point, he went 186 games in a row without an error at second base. So of all these guys, the most sure-handed one, you can probably make a case, is Polanco. I mentioned Dusty Ryan as a catcher tonight. There's a very underrated player right there, Mr. Polanco. Usually hits around 300. This year only 263, but the power numbers have been up a little bit. He's got 7 home runs. And he just catches everything. Nelly Cruz fouls one. Nelly Cruz yesterday hammered one. Number 24. That leads the Rangers. The Rangers continue to lead the major leagues. Luke French in the minors this year at Toledo as a mud hen. A 2.98 ERA. It was 1.98 in June, which is why he's now a Tiger.
Yeah, that was a big step up from 2008 and 2007 in A-ball and Double-A. Triple-A numbers were much improved. Fewer hits than innings pitched. Big change-up right there. Strikeout totals were up. His walk totals were down. Kind of a breakthrough season for him. I don't think in 2008 the Tigers envisioned him helping them in a pennant race at this stage. But he really made a quantum leap forward in the minor leagues. Not a hard thrower, but he's sneaky fast. You can tell by the way the hitters swing at him. Saw a good change up to Nelly.
The guys all watched tape on him, but there's no substitute, right, for getting in there and actually seeing it firsthand in the batter's box?
No, I think it helps to know what kind of pitches and to get a look at them, but to get that feel up at the plate for the first time, I think is way more important. But it serves a purpose and it helps. But it definitely doesn't make you comfortable until you get up there and get a look at it for yourself.
Tigers had some major pitching issues last year. Justin Verlander, who had been 35-15 the previous 2 years, lost 17 games for Jim Leyland last year. Jeremy Bonderman took a step back. Nate Robertson imploded. The bullpen was a disaster. They're pitching better this year, and they're in first place. Cruz socks another one. Got it off the end of the bat, though. And Cleet Thomas will put it away. Rangers are turned away, and there's no score at the end of 1.
throughout the holidays, and computers and school supplies and all kinds of needs that Texas children in need require throughout the year. We've been doing it for about 30 years, thanks to donations from individuals, businesses, and organizations like the Texas Rangers.
Well, we've got a great group on hand tonight. For those who want to get involved, real quick, what do they need to do?
Well, the quickest way is to go visit us at www.dallaschildrenscharities.org. We'll give you ways that you can get involved, make donations, and find out events that we've got coming up soon.
I appreciate the time, and best of luck. Thank you, Josh.
Miguel Cabrera, thank you, Jim, just kind of dumps one in the right. And the first base runner for the Tigers. Cabrera was held in check yesterday, 0 for 4. That's the fourth best batting average in the league, though, the one that belongs to Miguel Cabrera, and he singles here to start the second.
A pretty good pitch that he hit. First pitch was the cut fastball, slider, whichever you choose to call it. He swung and missed at it. Next one, he got a little closer to it, hit it right off the end of the bat, just looped it over first base for a soft single.
Is the only real difference between the cutter and the slider just it's a four-seam grip instead of a two-seam grip, or does it behave differently than
a cutter doesn't break quite as much as a slider, but for a right-hander, it goes right to left. I think the cutter, at least the pitch that people call a cutter now, was a pitch that people used to call a slider 30 or 40 years ago. It breaks not as much down as it does across, and it only breaks maybe 3 or 4 inches. It's faster than a true slider. I mean, a little faster than what they call a slider now. If Doug's fastball is 90 to 92, his cutter is probably 84 to 86. And the purpose of it is to hit the batter off the bad part of the bat. Throw it into a left-hand hitter to jam him. That's what Scott Feldman has been so effective doing. If you throw that same pitch to a right-hand hitter, it moves it away from the center of the sweet spot toward the end of the bat, and just makes it very, very difficult for the hitter to hit it on the good part of the bat.
That one is up and in to Carlos Guillen.
In fact, we'll have, I assume, Steve Busby here in the 6th inning, is it?
5th inning.
5th inning. Be a great question to ask him right off the bat.
Mariano Rivera probably has the most attention paid to his cut fastball. I mean, when you hear the announcers go on and on about a cutter, as Guillen goes down on strikes, I think Rivera is always the guy that people think of first.
Yeah, and I'm going to let Steve confirm what I'm about to say, but when you throw a cut fastball, you don't try to snap it and make it curve like a curveball or a slider. You hold it off the center a little bit, you put a lot of pressure with your middle finger, and you throw it pretty much like your fastball. And that little spin that it gets causes it to move. Rivera's is the definition of a cut fastball. It breaks, 2 or 3 inches. And he throws his 92 to 95 miles an hour when he's throwing well. And it's a lethal pitch. It's pretty much the only pitch he throws. A slider breaks a little bit more than that. And then a curveball will break from right to left and down quite a bit. And there's all variations of it. Some guys throw a big curveball a little slower. Some guys throw a harder curveball that doesn't break quite as much. Some guys throw a slider that, like K-Rod, he throws a hard, tight curveball. He calls it a slider.
We saw plenty of K-Rod over the years with the Angels. He, of course, moved on to the Mets. There's ball 4 to Ordonez. And we should mention, Tag, because the Angels yesterday, their game was super late. Not everybody probably saw how it ended, but the guy that's taken over very ably for Francisco Rodriguez, Brian Fuentes, got knocked around in the 9th inning yesterday. The Indians scored 4 times, rallied to win that game 8-6, and that's why the Rangers are back to within 2 in the loss column now.
That was a nice win for Cleveland. Nice win for the Rangers. That Cleveland won that game.
Yep, thank you, Cleveland. The Rangers taking care of business here, 5-2, rallying to get that done. Foul from Brandon Inge. Well, we talked about Tommy Hunter's contributions yesterday. That's 4 straight games now where he's given up either 0 runs or 1 run. And the bullpen was solid behind him. C.J. Wilson, another save. C.J., since the All-Star break, has allowed 2 hits in 21 at-bats, and he has struck out 11. 11 Ks in 6 innings for the Blue Glove lefty. Inge with a smash but foul, skipping up into the crowd. And back it goes. Much nicer night for baseball tonight. There's no rain. But boy, the humidity has arrived. It was raining at a pretty good clip towards the end of the game yesterday. It was a foul back by Inge. So yeah, the Rangers got their first win of the year against the Tigers last night. That makes the Rangers 4-14 their last 18 games against the Tigers. They've lost their last 11 in Detroit. Check swing, did he? Nope, did not. 2-2.
Good call.
Brandon Inge, the last man into the All-Star game. Onto that roster for the AL. Will take in too tight. The second inning is where Doug Mathis got in trouble in his other start this year. That one here at home against Toronto. He was 1 pitch away, though, getting a ground ball, getting out of things here. Strikeout works as well. Out number 2 in the inning.
Three-two pitch, looking for a fastball, and you get the slider down and away. Really fooled him with that pitch, looking fastball all the way, evidently.
The shortstop, Santiago, has already committed an error in this game. A chance to make amends. Andy Fletcher, by the way, is your home plate umpire tonight. The youngest umpire on the crew. You've got the veteran crew chief, Tim McClelland, at third. Tim with that delayed strike call made for some interesting times last night. But as Tim always says about that, he'd rather be right than wrong. And if it means waiting an extra second just to make sure that he saw what he thinks he saw, that's how he's going to do it. And I applaud him for that. I'm glad he has the courage of his convictions, even though it doesn't help the broadcasters much.
Three and 0 count. It looks like one of them was definitely a strike. The last one, the other one could have been called a strike, number 2. Instead, it's 3 and 0.
To a guy who's walked only 7 times all year in the 52 ball games. That ball headed to the alley. That's trouble. Santiago comes through. A run's going to score. And they hold Ordonez at third. So after running the count deep, Santiago with his 26th RBI of the year.
And a fought the fastball off, lined it out in left center field.
Well, Mathis has averaged 5 pitches per batter so far, which means he will not be around for the whole game if that continues. Anderson with a leap couldn't get it. Another run scores. Up with it is Bird. Firing home. It's too late. And the Tigers have scored 3 times with 2 out here in the second inning. The bottom of the order, Dusty Ryan and Ramon Santiago coming through. Elvis is looking up at that jumbotron to see how close he came to getting that ball. Dusty Ryan had only 2 runs batted in all year. He gets 2 on this swing.
The 2 guys that didn't start and don't start most of the games get the damage, have the damage. 2 doubles, I mean the double for Santiago, the single for Ryan. Usually it's Gerald Laird, usually it's Adam Everett. 2 replacements tonight, batting 8th and 9th, getting it done.
Well, it started with that chip shot single from Cabrera. The walk to Ordonez didn't help. Now Mathis has to deal with Curtis Granderson. Now the first runs that Mathis has allowed in 17+ innings of work. Lifted into left field. Here comes Marlon Byrd, and he's got it. But 3 runs knocked in from the bottom of the Tiger order, and the Rangers have some work to do. We go to Jim Knox.
All right, thank you, Josh. Hey, look who we have here. It's the Big 12 Commissioner, Dan Beebe. Big day because in Dallas over the last day or so, and then tomorrow they'll finish up the Big 12 Media Day as far as football goes. Art Briles, Baylor head coach, throws out the first pitch. Kind of give us the assessment of his pitching style.
Well, I think Art needs to stay with his day job. I'm not sure he's a threat to any of the pitchers on the staff here.
What an exciting year coming up in football in the Big 12, arguably the best conference in the nation. You got preseason polls, Texas number 2, Oklahoma 3, Oklahoma State number 6. Then you got Nebraska, Kansas, and the list goes on. Are we looking at another 3-way tie here?
Well, you know, that's something I better be careful about with all the controversy last year. But, I mean, hey, in this league, who knows what happens? And it's hopefully will be a lot less boring than we were last year.
What about you? Do you have a team that you can say, okay, this team, I think I'm going to put my preseason pick on this team, or that team. Who's your preseason pick so far?
You know, I'm not going to get roped into that. That's a good try, but I'm not going to do that one, Jim.
Okay, how fun is it for you as the commissioner of this conference to see the way this conference is shaping up and all the extraordinary improvements as well as excellent everything seems to be going in great shape here.
Yeah, it's exciting. You know, I feel very privileged and honored to be in the leadership role of this conference. Great people to work with. We've got terrific competition. Obviously, for being the youngest conference in the BCS, we've been able to really come on the field and do a lot.
We got the first game coming up, college football Saturday special, Sunday night edition, Colorado against Colorado State. Dan, good seeing you. Best of luck. They say he's the best athlete coming out of Walla Walla, Washington, besides Drew Bledsoe. So that's quite a compliment right there. All right, thank you, Dan. Appreciate it. Right. Josh?
And Billy Volek, too. Thank you very much, Jim, and welcome, Commish. You see that David Murphy had the honor of catching that first pitch from the Baylor coach. Murphy's a very proud Baylor Bear. Blaylock is out, and Andrew Jones to the plate. Andrew has been mashing the baseball quite a bit of late. Yeah, the batting average is not where he wants it to be, but 8 home runs in his last 20 starts. Of course, 3 of those were in one game out there in Anaheim. Luke French is the Tiger pitcher. And the lefty drives it by Andrew Jones here. Already the Tigers have scored more than they did all of last night. A 3-run top of the second with the damage coming from the bottom of the order. As you said, Tag, 2 guys that weren't even in the lineup for Jim Leland yesterday, Santiago and Dusty Ryan. That is a fair ball. Andrew Jones on his way to second base. A 1-out double for Andrew. That'll set it up nicely for Josh Hamilton now. Andrew's 14th double of the year.
Just stayed fair. French looked like French's fastball 6 pretty well. Keeps it when he keeps it down. An inch to do except watch that one go right down the line.
Josh Hamilton trying not to get discouraged. It's been a tough several weeks for him. Obviously the injury that kept him out for 45 days. Now it's just about getting his timing back. He's 2 for his last 28 at bats. A lot was said and written about a rested Josh Hamilton being kind of a rested Superman that the guys could just jump on and ride the rest of the way. And as we all probably knew anyway, it would take more than just one bat. Pressure being lifted a bit from Josh as he gets sent down to 7th in the order. That's where he batted yesterday as well. First time he's batted down there since September of '07. Hamilton gets it off the end of the bat. And Polanco drifting back to make the play. 2 down, Saltalamacchia coming up. Folks, you can get half-price tickets online for the game tomorrow. The Rangers against the Tigers. It's an Ozarka website Wednesday. TexasRangers.com/eSabers. That's sponsored by WBAP News Talk 820. Then the Seattle Mariners will come on in starting Thursday night. Derek Holland will make the start Thursday. Scott Feldman against Justin Verlander tomorrow. That should be a real nice game. 7:05 first pitch. It's been a breakout season for Scott Feldman. You see the smiling goateed pitching coach Mike Maddox. What an import he's been too from the Brewers. Very nice guiding hand for these guys this year. Mike Maddox, a guy that Nolan Ryan knew very well from the Round Rock team, the Astros organization. And then once Mike moved on from the Astros organization to the Brewers, during those 6 years in Milwaukee, the Brewers had considerable success on the mound. They had a team ERA of under 4, 2 of the last 3 years he was there. Mike Maddox pitched in the majors for 15 years. Parts of 15 years, ended up with only 39 wins, a few hundred fewer than little brother Greg. Salty, a wave and a miss, 1-2.
French's fastball is anywhere from 85 to 88 in this ball game, but the Rangers are swinging a little bit late. They're behind on his fastball. Could be the first time they see him. Could be something in his delivery. He's got a quick arm, and it may be that the ball is sneaky. Comes in faster, looks faster than radar gun says. Deception in his delivery.
Big guy, 6'4", 220. Only 23 years old and an ERA in the 2s so far. That's what it was down at AAA as well at Toledo. Saltalamacchia lays off. Andrews lays weight on deck. These Tigers with a 2-game lead in the Central. Saltalamacchia takes a walk, and Elvis Andrews comes up as a tying man. There is Jim Leland, who was brought in to replace the very popular Alan Trammell. Of course, Tram had all those connections to the Tigers days that went so well in the 80s. But the Tigers were not built to win on Alan Trammell's watch. Jim Leland came in, and he's got some ties to the area anyway. He's from extreme northern Ohio, near Toledo, which is very near Detroit. He's about a 55-minute drive away from Comerica Park. Well, Alan Trammell, unfortunately, was just dealt some brutal hands his 3 years as Tiger manager. But the bottom line was the Tigers lost 300 games in those 3 years on Trammell's watch. They made a change to bring in Jim Leland, and the last time Leland had managed in the big leagues, that was with the Rockies back in the 90s, and he simply walked away from that gig. But he has embraced this one in Detroit. Outside to Elvis. Of course, Jim Leland very comfortable with his general manager, Dave Dombrowski. The two were together in Florida when the Marlins won the World Series back in '97. Elvis Andrews into right center field, a base hit. The Rangers are on the board. A 2-out hit from the Rangers' number 9 man. That's what the Tigers got in the top of the inning. 3-1 ball game now.
Those 2-out hits with men in scoring position. Elvis got the Rangers going in the 6th inning last night by doubling to left center field, hit the ball over Granderson's head. This one didn't get by him. And it scores a run, moves Salty over to third base for him.
Rick Knapp will head out to the mound. There was a scare with Rick Knapp on the team flight for the Tigers in here to Arlington. He had a bad reaction, he said, to some medicine. And they actually had to take him to the hospital just to make sure that everything was okay. But Rick says he's almost embarrassed that the whole thing happened. He's fine, didn't want anybody to worry. But that story got out on the wires that he was hospitalized, and a lot of people were concerned. Well, Ian Kinsler, with a batting average, it is now at 241. But he's got 23 home runs. He leads the team in runs batted in. And he's bidding for a few right here. He drives it to right center. Granderson back. He can't get it. Saltalamacchia has scored. Andrus is in. Kinsler heading to third. Head first. Triple. Tie game.
Both teams doing the damage with 2 outs, and the bottom of the lineup had a lot to do with it for both teams here in the second inning. Love those 2-out hits, though. Big 2-out single by Elvis, and now Ian clears the bases with a long triple to right center field, and that's nice to see Ian driving the ball like that to the straightaway part of the field.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Michael's got a chance to put him ahead.
When Ian is driving the ball to right, that's usually the sign that he's ready to take off. And there's no one that would like to see that happen more than Ian himself, with that batting average perilously close to getting below 240. He rips a triple into right center field. And you're right, Michael Young has been swinging the best bat of anybody. The chance to actually put the Rangers on top. That's a nice response from the Rangers, huh? Give up 3 in the top of the inning, come back, get 3 in the bottom.
Yeah, the only thing I worried about on Ian's was that Granderson would run it down. We've seen him do that a number of times. The long fly balls hit over his head.
Michael Young peels one into right center. The Rangers have the lead. It's off the glove of Ordonez. And Michael Young ends up at second as the Rangers go on top.
Well, smart hitting by the Rangers. The last 3 hitters, Andrus, Kinsler, and Michael Young, all going the other way with hard hit balls off a good part of the bat.
And even 30 doubles now for Michael Young. And yeah, it's funny because the whole rally started with Andrew Jones pulling one right over the chalk down into the left field corner. But all the runs have actually scored because the right-hand hitters have gone to right field. Now the 8th man to hit in the inning, Marlon Byrd. Marlon shoots one way up in the air to left. Cleet Thomas settles under it. The Rangers answer. And how? It was 3 in the top of the second. It's 4 in the bottom. Ranger Baseball brought to you by Geico Insurance, where 15 minutes can save you 15% on car insurance, and by AT&T. Switch to the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. After Doug Mathis gave up 3 in the top of the second, Elvis Andrus and company got 4 back in the bottom of the second inning. Ian Kinsler had a 2 RBI triple. Michael Young an RBI double. Now that Doug Mathis has that run support, let's see if he can get back to what he was doing in the first inning. Couple of quick strikes to Polanco. Tough guy to get ahead of. Tough guy to strike out.
Yeah, I think what Doug has to do is he has to get back to being aggressive like he has been in relief. Utilize your fastball. He's got good movement on his fastball. You get a lot of ground balls with it. You stay ahead of the hitters.
Polanco, Thomas, and Cabrera here for the Tigers in the third.
You know, in the 3-run inning that the Tigers had, Cabrera started it off with a single right off the end of the bat. Just a little blooper into right field.
The Missouri Tiger connection right there. Mathis on the mound and Kinsler in the field.
Ordonez walked. Then he got behind Santiago 3-0, and he looped a double. And then Ryan, first ball hitting, hit the ball off the end of the bat, base hit. So it's not like they lit him up. They got 3 runs, but they didn't really light him up for those 3 runs.
Now the Rangers were hitting the ball very solidly in the second. Cleat Thomas to the opposite field foul.
And the changeup right there, tailing away real well. Doug doesn't throw a pitch that's straight. Everything he has good movement on it.
Thomas trying to dunk one into left field. That will not happen. Marlon Byrd closes in. We've seen Cleat Thomas go to left field quite a bit. Marlon Byrd was ready for him.
Didn't Cleat Thomas hit a home run to left field when they were in Detroit?
Yep.
Kind of a big home run at one point in the game, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he had a double to left yesterday. Former Auburn Tiger, now a Detroit Tiger. The Angels are playing later tonight. The Indians against the Angels again. Cabrera with a foul. The Blue Jays will be at the Mariners out on the West Coast too. Meantime, in the Central, the 2 teams right behind the Tigers, the White Sox and the Twins, are head to head. They are scoreless in the third. Mark Burley, so far, no hits through 3.
Look at this. That's a second ball he's hit like that.
Kinsler almost had a shot. If he would have turned around immediately, it would have been, I don't know if Blaylock could have gotten to the bag anyway, but that would have been something to throw out Cabrera from there.
Yeah, the problem is when you're sprinting toward the line, it's tough to pirouette and fire it like that. I think he would have if he could. That's exactly where he wanted to throw it. Up and in, jammed him. First time up, he hit it off the end of the bat. That time it jammed him, and both of them just little loopers over first base. But that's a good pitch. Nothing wrong with the pitch.
2 very similar looking singles for Cabrera. Brings up Carlos Guillen. I saw a stat in the paper today that after a perfect game, and of course Burley had the perfect game last time he threw, on average, those guys in their next start, their ERA has been around 4 in the start right after the perfect game. But so far, Burley's at it again.
Be interesting to know what their ERA was before the perfect game.
Yeah.
Do most people that throw perfect games, are they distinguished by being like top of the rotation starters, or is it a smorgasbord of pitchers?
I'm going to go with smorgasbord. I don't think Len Barker was necessarily a Cy Young candidate when he threw his.
No. And let's face it, some of the greatest pitchers of all time never threw a perfect game.
Sure. Some never threw a no-hitter.
That's right.
Red Sox are leading the A's tonight 5-2. That game's into the 5th at Fenway tonight. Right now the Red Sox a couple of games ahead of the Rangers in the wild card pursuit. high pop fly by Carlos Guillen, and Elvis Andrus drifting back. Elvis has got it, and Doug Mathis is off the mound and out of the inning.
Used his fastball real well in that inning. He jammed Cabrera for a hit, and got Guillen to pop it up.
Join the Rangers Saturday from 11:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. An opportunity to play ball on this field and receive instruction from Rangers staff. Then you get to do lunch and go to the Rangers-Mariners game that night. TexasRangers.com/women. All the runs scored in the second. Now we're in the bottom of the third, and Nelson Cruz will lead things off. Nelly, the only Ranger not to bat last inning.
I want to say hi to Mark Salmon from Grace Presbyterian Church in Corpus Christi, Texas, the chaplain of the Corpus Christi Hooks baseball team. Also want to thank Tracy Seiler for the delicious plate of banana bread, the chocolate chip cookies. Thank you, Tracy, very much.
She brought vitamin water, too. That's
vitamin
good.
water
Yep.
for you. That was very nice. Thank you, Tracy.
The blueberry pomegranate, no less, with triple antioxidants. Ted.
Wow.
Yeah, triple.
You'll be flying high after that bottle.
I need help on that, yeah. Nelly Cruz will send one foul.
Thanks to Shirley Coast, our cookie lady, for the Coca Macadamia cookies. Thank you very much. A lot of things to announce tonight. Got a birthday right here, too.
You're like a church bulletin come to life. You know
I
that?
am. I really am. I promised Richard Price I wouldn't mention his name tonight.
So now you have.
So now I have.
Yeah.
But his uncle, Travis Price, is 81 tonight. Granbury, Texas. Long time Ranger fan. Probably watching the game tonight. How you doing, Travis? Happy birthday from the Rangers and also Richard Price. Richard working down in the umpire's room tonight, trying to keep all four of those umpires straight. Not an easy task, but Richard can handle it.
Nelson Cruz is down on strikes. Luke French, after that wobble in the second inning, able to polish off Nelly Cruz here to start the third.
Richard's a pretty fair umpire in his own right. No nonsense umpire.
I wouldn't want to cross him.
I wouldn't either. Umpires a lot of high school games, amateur games in the area. People have turned around to argue with Richard, taken one look and just done a pirouette back in the batter's box. Nothing even, they're so intimidated, nothing even comes out of their mouth.
Blaylock with a foul, and he's behind 0-2. Ted Barrett is a guy that I wouldn't want to mess with either. He was a boxing champ in high school.
Wasn't he a sparring partner with one of the heavyweight champs?
Yeah, he can absolutely hold his own in the ring, they say.
Well, word has it that he learned that stare right there from Richard Price.
This is a pretty big umpiring crew right here. Tim McClellan at third base goes 6-6. Blaylock, fair ball down into that right field corner. And the Hammer's on his way to second base. Got himself a 2-strike, 1-out double. Well, the Rangers, without a home run, still rolling up the extra bases so far tonight. They got a triple and 3 doubles.
Let's hope this double opens up the floodgates like Andrew Jones doubled down the left field line did the second inning. There was 1 out when Andrew doubled, 1 out right now when Hance doubled.
Up and outside to Andrew Jones. His longtime team, the Braves, they've got a shot in the wild card in the National League. They're tied 2-2 at the Marlins right now, 6th inning. Both those teams are 51 and 48.
Yeah, I forgot to thank Tracy Seiler for one other thing she sent up. It's the first time anyone has ever sent this to us, by the way.
Hold that thought. Andrew Jones sends one hovering
I
out
don't know if I
there.
wait that long. It's too high.
It's coming. It's coming. All right. Granderson's got it.
She sent us a stick of butter. No one has ever sent us that before. I guess in case you want it on your banana bread.
All the years, you're right. You and I have been doing these games 8 years now. It's probably the first stick of butter we've ever had. Tomorrow, someone will send us a tub of Crisco just to change it up a little bit. No, thanks for all the gifts. Thanks for the emails too. You're certainly welcome to email anytime. FoxSports.com and the keyword email Rangers. That is how to get in touch. Try to get to some emails later on tonight. We'll try to spin through some more scores as well. Here's Hamilton. He's out in front, off speed. Josh doesn't outright talk to himself like Ricky Henderson used to, but you can tell that sometimes now when he steps out of the box, there's a lot going through his mind. Trying to wait back on that one. He pokes it up in the air, shallow left. Cleet Thomas on the run, still coming in to make the catch and end the inning. 3 innings in the books. The Rangers lead by 1. Flag trivia question now. Kenny Rogers, one of 4 pitchers to throw a perfect game in the 90s. Do you remember who the other 3 guys were to get that done? Mark Burley just threw his perfect game. And tonight, the follow-up, he's got a perfect game through 3.
Wow.
Doug Mathis had a 1-2-3 first inning. And a pretty easy third inning, but the second inning was tough. 3 runs on 3 hits in that one for the Tigers, but the Rangers came right back and got 4 in the bottom of that second inning. See, Mark Burley got on David Letterman to read the top 10 list and everything.
I heard that he did. I didn't watch it myself.
I didn't see the whole thing. I saw a couple highlights. I don't think he's going to give up his day job or anything like that, but he did a pretty nice job. Number 9 was, if this doesn't get Kate Hudson to notice me, nothing will. There was also one, too, what was going through his mind during the perfect game. One of them was, did I remember to TiVo so you think you can dance? Somehow I doubt that was true. But anyway, we'll keep you posted if for some reason that Perfecto Part 2 continues. A little outside to Ordonez. He's the guy that walked in the second inning, kind of keeping that inning alive. Kinsler tears after it. Now he finally finds it, but it's down around his feet. It's a base hit. Leadoff man is on in the 4th. We go to Jim Knox.
All right, Josh, found a couple of great All-American high school baseball players. Brian Reguera, Arlington Martin, pitcher, also outfielder. We got Matt Lipka, shortstop, McKinney. They're going to be playing in the Aflac All-Star Classic going on August 16 in San Diego. When you got the word, what were your thoughts?
Oh, I mean, it was, I was very excited, I'm very humbled by it. It's a great event, great opportunity, and, it's going to be fun. It's a heck of an honor being chosen for it. It's a great event, and 1 out of 40 rising seniors get chosen for it, and I'm very humbled by it, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Now, a lot of great baseball players have played in this classic. Last year, Matt Perk, the #1 draft choice for the Rangers, played. And then, Brian, you played against Matt. You probably had no chance catching up with his fastball, right?
Well, I never actually got to go up to the plate and take my hacks against him, but that's a challenge I think I'd be up for.
Okay. Now, you guys have aspirations of going up and, of course, playing in professional baseball. Your team you would like to pitch for or play for?
I'd probably say the Rangers. So
there you go. All right, Brian.
I'll probably get a little bit for this one, but I'd like to play for the Yankees.
Yankees. All right, get on out of here, Brian. Nice meeting you. No, just kidding. August 16th in San Diego, game right here on Fox Sports Southwest. Nice meeting you guys. Best of luck. We will see you soon. Thank you.
He's wearing the pinstripe polo. There's just the pinstripes are horizontal instead. So, welcome, guys, and congratulations to you. Brandon Inge with a 2-1 count will nail one into left field over a leaping Michael Young. It's 2 on and nobody out for the Tigers. Setting it up for that bottom of the order again. The two guys that were able to get to Doug Mathis in the second. By the way, among the emails we've gotten, as you look at Jason Grilly getting ready, get you back to Mike Maddox. Some emailers taking me to task for calling Mr. Maddox's soul patch a goatee. It is indeed a soul patch. The Leon Redbone look.
Well, now I know something.
Now you know. Yeah, well, we're here to serve. Real quick, some other scores, too. The Orioles have taken a 3-2 lead on Kansas City. That game's in the 7th. The Rays lead the Yankees tonight 5-1. Evan Longoria, home run number 20. They are beating up on CC Sabathia. Santiago in what could be a bunting situation, but he's not showing it yet. And the Angels later tonight host the Indians. The Mariners, who are now 7.5 out, take on Toronto. Again, no sign of the bunt. 1-1. National League, the Astros lead the Cubs 4-0 tonight. That is at Wrigley. Cubs got a walk-off slam from Alfonso Soriano to win yesterday. Just fouled down the third baseline. The Nationals are starting to play decently. They've got a 5-1 lead on sagging Milwaukee in the 4th inning. Adam Dunn has hit home run number 26. And a guy that's being talked about a lot in trade rumors, Josh Willingham. You see the game he had yesterday? He had 2 grand slams in that game yesterday. Big win for Washington. That's a foul by Santiago. Off his shin or foot, it looked like. Josh Willingham's a guy that you're hearing not only rumored here for the Rangers, but really kind of all across baseball. His name seems to be popping up a bit.
That ball hit him right in the inside the right kneecap. Where Jermaine Dye fouled a ball off there a couple of years ago.
In the playoffs, right?
Yeah, in the playoffs, broke a bone, and it took a long time for that to come back.
Back when Dye was an Oakland Athletic. Padres and the Reds are tied 2-2 tonight. Former Ranger Adrian Gonzalez, home run number 27 for San Diego. What a year. And the Mets, who are going through all kinds of chaos and drama right now, lead the Rockies 3-0 in the 7th inning tonight. Chop ball spinning and staying foul.
Well, Santiago still limping from that ball that hit him in the knee.
I didn't see the Mets press conference today, but apparently, and this is just on the wire right now, a top Mets executive acknowledged today that GM Omar Minaya, quote, made a mistake by singling out a reporter during a news conference today and has put the GM on notice. That's the COO, Jeff Wilpon. Says, my GM is now on notice. Not sure exactly what that means, but this, watch your P's and Q's?
At least it's nice to know that they'd noticed the general manager. Up until now, I guess he was like anonymous.
Hey, we noticed you today, Omar.
Like a general manager is not on notice every day of his life anyway. Up until now, it didn't matter, but now I'm going to start watching.
Santiago is down on strikes. Got that cutter?
You know what? I was watching the field and not the monitor, but it was some kind of a breaking ball down and in. Let's take a look at it and we'll see.
All righty.
Yeah, that looked like a cutter, looked like a slider, looked a little bit like a curveball. So whatever you want to call it. I'm going to go with breaking ball. That should cover all of the above.
His pitches are now on notice. You're very aware of them.
I'm going to start watching the game now. Yeah, evidently Tony Bernazard, who was, I think, vice president of player-to-player personnel maybe with the Mets, they had to let him go. Omar Minaya announced that the other day. I saw the press conference. Evidently, Tony, who'd been a major league player, had been in the Players Association, been with the Mets for 7 or 8 years, I guess, had gone to a AA game and was so upset with the performance of the AA team that in the locker room he challenged anyone on the team to a fight, which is probably not the best thing for a front office person to do with a minor league team. And then I don't know what this was about, but he got into a huge screaming match with K-Rod. Not sure over what.
Which was the one where he ripped off his shirt, Incredible Hulk style? Was that the one in Binghamton?
It must have been, yeah. And then he berated a Met official for something about seating arrangements for a game. Anyway, it sounded like he was on kind of a crash course for the decision that they made.
Dusty Ryan with a foul. native Californian. With 2 on and 1 out in the Arizona native, Doug Mathis, trying to keep the Rangers on top here on a humid 89-degree night at the ballpark. Tied him up. Mathis scrambles down off the mound and throws out Ryan. Runners advance, though. No way of quantifying this tag, but when Feldman pitches, when Mathis pitches, the number of balls that end up just kind of squibbing back towards the pitcher or kind of in the general direction of Kinsler. It seems like that's something the Rangers have been able to do frequently, is induce poor contact.
Well, Scott especially, because that's his game plan, to throw the cutter, to throw the ball that tails away, sinker, to get him inside, to try to jam the hitter. And he's been very successful this year. He's been one of the best pitchers in the league. And that's one of the results. There's been a lot of balls, you're right, tapped back to the mound. And when Doug's throwing the ball well, like that last pitch he just made to Ryan, that was a good pitch. It jammed him, just kind of fought it off. There wasn't a whole lot he could do with it to make any kind of solid contact. That's pretty much the name of the game. Try to make the hitter hit the ball off the bad part of the bat.
And then make sure somebody can actually field it cleanly. Granderson to right field, and Doug Mathis able to navigate through it here in the top of the fourth. And a tough hitter there in Granderson to fly out feebly.
Another weakly hit ball.
It stays 4-3 Rangers. The Aflac trivia question answered for you now. Kenny Rogers, one of 4 pitchers to throw a perfect game in the 1990s. Kenny did it on this date in 1994. Dennis Martinez, David Wells, David Cohn were the others. Everybody's got a story, I'm sure, about where they were when Kenny Rogers nailed perfection here in Arlington. A lot of people claim to have been watching it live. I think the attendance was 250,000 at that game, but
why do people like to do that at every sporting event? You just want to say you were there. Why is that? The person you're telling it to doesn't care.
Right. Adam Everett is into the game at short now. Remember, Santiago fouled that ball off his foot. Saltalamacchia driving one up in the air to center. To the warning track. And Granderson has got it. We're talking the Kenny Rogers perfect game.
Center field looper coming hard is Greer. He dives. He makes the catch. Rusty Greer in center field. Looper to center. Rusty Greer. He makes the catch.
The entire Metroplex was here to see it. Elvis Andrus showing bunt. Of course, Kenny Rogers had some pretty decent work done as a Detroit Tiger after he got done here with the Rangers. He was able to exercise some postseason demons with the Tigers as well as he pitched. Had that clinching game against the Yankees in the division series, pitched well in the LCS against Oakland. The lefty on the mound tonight is certainly not Kenny Rogers. It's the 23-year-old Luke French. He's already suffered through his worst inning in the big leagues. That 4-run second inning that the Rangers put on him after the Tigers got 3 in the top of the second. Base hit Elvis Andrus, who stays hot. He had the 2 doubles yesterday. Got 2 singles tonight. He is 4 for his last 4. This is a guy, Tag, who was 4 for 42 at one point, June into July.
He had a big hit back in the second inning to drive in the Rangers' first run with 2 outs. Waits on a breaking ball and lines it in left field. Hit that ball well. Nice job of hitting by Elvis. Got his average up somewhere around 260 now.
Elvis is going with the throw, goes to Cabrera, and the ball gets away. Elvis trots to third.
That's the problem with a right-handed throwing first baseman. If you're the runner, Elvis was just going to go. He wasn't waiting to see whether the guy was going to throw it to first base. First thing that moved from the pitcher, he takes off. Now, when Cabrera catches the ball, he has to turn. The problem was Elvis is right in his line of sight when he threw the ball to second base. I think that ball glanced off Elvis. It's a very difficult throw, whereas the left-handed thrower comes toward the pitcher and has a better angle to throw the ball.
Stolen base E3 is how it scored, and that's the 20th stolen base of the year for Elvis Andrus. And a great shot for Kinsler now to pick up his 3rd RBI of the night. Driving it in the air into left center. And it's going to happen. A 3 RBI night for Ian Kinsler as the Rangers lead it 5-3.
And there's something happening on the bases, making something happen. Base hit, steal second, take advantage of the play, score on a sacrifice fly. Harmless single with 1 out turns into a run. Fly ball later.
Now Michael Young to right. That'll be grabbed by Ordonez to end the inning. But the Rangers tack on a run. Elvis Andrus again is in the middle of everything of late. The Rangers lead 5-3 at the end of 4. Texas Ranger Baseball being brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com, grab your bag, it's on. And by the Ford F-150. It's not just a pickup truck, it's a Ford F-150. Ian Kinsler stepping up tonight. A 3 RBI night. He's now got 63 for the year to lead the team. Elvis Andrews has already scored a couple of runs. And Doug Mathis has done what he's been asked to do, give the Rangers some innings tonight. I'm sure Doug would have loved to have gone one more for the possibility of a win. But here's Jason Grilli now. The Verizon Wireless call to the bullpen. Grilli took Mathis's uniform number from him, number 49, and now he's going to take Mathis's place on the mound.
Yeah, I think Doug was throwing the ball well enough to stay in the game. The problem was he hadn't really been stretched out enough to throw more pitches than he threw tonight. He had the 3 1/3 against the Red Sox in a relief appearance, but I think he was probably on a pitch limit tonight. He probably got right around that pitch limit after 4 innings, and so now it's the bullpen's turn to bring it home.
Mr. Do-It-All tonight, Ian Kinsler taking care of Polanco. Pontiac starting line. Get the Pontiac you want before they're gone. It's a big smile from Doug Mathis. He'd be smiling even broader than that if he'd gone through 5 innings with his 80 or so pitches. But now it's in Grilli that they turn, or to who they turn. 1.26 ERA.
Yeah, I thought Doug threw the ball well. Doug's got good stuff. He's got excellent movement on his fastball. His other pitches are solid. He was just in a situation where his pitch count got up there a little bit. He threw a lot of pitches, which prevented him from going maybe 5 or 6 innings. But all in all, he threw the ball well. Inning where they scored the 3 runs, I don't think any of the 3 hits were really hit that hard, especially the first one was just a little looper into right field.
This ball is hit well by Cleet Thomas. It is bending foul.
Poor guy. Brought his glove. Came up empty.
You and I had the pleasure of chatting with Jason's dad, the former big leaguer Steve Grilli, before the game tonight.
He played against Steve back in the 70s.
Did you hit him hard?
I don't remember.
No benches clearing brawl that you went out and decked him?
No, but actually there was a bench clearing ball.
Whoa, that ball behind Cleet Thomas, up over his head.
That I didn't really remember, but Steve said he was pitching against the Rangers back then and was getting knocked around a little bit and drilled Gene Kleins in the back. And the next thing he knew, they were wrestling on the mound. I don't remember that. I remember, obviously, Steve pitching for the Tigers and playing with Gene Kleins, but I don't remember the altercation at the mound.
Thomas to, well, a little bit more playable portion of right field. And 2 down here in the 5th inning. Steve Grilli, Jason's dad, opened up a sports bar in Syracuse, New York. And now does some of what you do here with the Rangers.
Yeah.
He's a color commentator on the Syracuse Chiefs TV broadcasts.
I never knew Steve as a player. Enjoyed the talk tonight. Very personable guy. Says he watches all our games.
Well,
got the dish and watches all the games.
Got to be on at the Change of Pace Sports Bar and Grilli.
Yep.
Next time you're in the Cuse, next time you're in Central New York, stop on by and tell him Steve Grilli sent you. 1-1 the count to Cabrera.
Good slider right there. Exactly where you want to throw it. Steve has really thrown the ball well for the Rangers. Only given up 7 hits in 15 innings. Jason, I mean. Steve never pitched for the Rangers.
Though he looks like he's in pretty good shape. He could get out there and
he did.
Maybe face a guy.
You definitely see the resemblance, father and son.
Miguel Cabrera down on strikes. This Ranger bullpen has just been dynamite the last couple of months. Through half the ball game tonight in Arlington, the Rangers on top 5-3. Rangers, and folks, don't forget the Rangers taking on the Mariners coming up this weekend. Saturday, the first 7,500 kids 13 and under get that Rangers chest protector backpack, compliments of Dr. Pepper. Come early that night, see the Rangers Hall of Fame induction ceremony as well. Toby Harrah and Ruben Sierra. That all starts at 6:20. The game's at 7:05. Call for your tickets at 972-RANGERS. Marlon Byrd, base hit against Luke French right down the line.
Seen that one before in this game. Almost a carbon copy of the ball that was hit earlier in the game by Andrew Jones.
Now it is Marlon Byrd who doubles. His career-high 31st double of the year after Michael Young got his 30th double of the year earlier tonight.
Almost the exact same pitch.
Nothing Brandon Inge could do. Nelly Cruz will come up next. And Steve Busby joins us in the booth in this inning. It's our traditional peek ahead to Rangers Live. That, of course, comes up after the game. And in the bottom of the fifth, we bring on the expert. We'll get to Buzz in just a moment.
Steve, we got a question for you. First question. We've been talking about it a lot.
Fire away.
Difference between a cutter and a slider, and how do you throw a cutter?
To me, now this is just my opinion. It's kind of gotten out of kilter. A cutter to me has always been a fastball first, where it has almost the same velocity as, say, your four-seam fastball, and it moves maybe 4 or 5 inches away from your arm side if your right-hander moves to the left. A slider is a breaking ball where you impart spin on the ball to get it to break, and most good sliders have a little downward arc to them also.
How do you throw a cutter?
Well, what I teach guys to throw is you take your four-seam grip and you rotate the ball to, if you're looking at home plate, to the left 1/8 of a turn, so that the four seams line up at that kind of an angle toward the left-handed hitter.
Do you move your hand toward the side of the ball at all?
No, don't off center.
You don't do that.
No,
okay.
I don't. That's not how I teach. I put a little bit of extra finger pressure on the middle finger.
Okay.
To impart just a little more spin, and that's how you regulate how much it breaks.
And you don't try to make it curve.
No,
then.
no. To me, a cutter, again, I'll go back to it's a fastball. It needs the velocity to look like your fastball and have a hitter react like it's your fastball.
So just the different grip is what makes it move those, whatever,
yes.
4 inches.
Yeah, different grip and maybe a little extra finger pressure depending on your release.
High fly ball from Nelson Cruz, drifting into left. Well, and the reason we talk about the cutter is because obviously Scott Feldman's thrown it so beautifully this year, and Doug Mathis is breaking it out.
Yeah.
And seemed to be a real good pitch for him.
Yeah, and Scott, I think, and I haven't seen Doug's enough to be able to give you a good read, but I think Scott Feldman has, to me, a true cutter. I mean, it's not a slider, and it's not much different than his four-seam fastball velocity-wise. If he's throwing 93, for example, on his four-seamer, his cutter's probably 92.
Would you classify what Roy Halladay throws so well as a cutter, or is that?
No, I wouldn't.
That's a little different.
Yeah.
So really, if you're just watching radar gun speeds and a guy's fastball is 90 and the pitch you're trying to decipher is 90 or 89, you'd call that a cutter. If it drops down to, say, 84 or 85, it's more likely that that's a slider.
I would think so, yeah, Tom. And I think a lot of that's trying to get your hand off to the side a little bit of the ball so you're not throwing the full back of the ball the way you do in a fastball.
Right. Really, a pitcher can call it anything he wants.
Yeah.
You can call it the old dipsy-do if you want to.
If it doesn't get hit, you sure can. If it does, you say that was uh-oh.
I mean, we've watched K-Rod pitch for years and years, and he calls that a slider, and it really looks more like a tight curveball to me, the way it breaks. So
I agree.
It's just a matter of what you want to call it.
That's what Ted Williams said about the quote-unquote slider. He said, you used to call that a nickel curveball, and I couldn't hit that either.
1 ball, 1 strike, the count to Blaylock with 1 out. Runner at second base. 5-3 Rangers here in the bottom of the 5th. We're chatting with Steve Busby. You can catch him on Rangers Live after the game tonight.
One other thing we were talking about, Buzz, is sometimes you'll see a pitcher who, say, is throwing 87 miles an hour, and the hitters really won't be catching up with his fastball. What are some of the things that make that fastball sneaky like that to a hitter?
Part of it's the motion itself that the pitcher has. I think if the ball is behind his body as the hitter's looking at him most of the time, and the only time a hitter gets a look at the ball is when his hand's coming up over his head to throw.
Right.
That's to me, that's sneaky fast and that kind of thing. And and I think guys that change speeds very well are sneaky fast. We talked about Kenny Rogers' perfect game in the pregame show on Rangers Live, and I thought Kenny Rogers was at times sneaky fast because he changed speed so very, very well. And every once in a while he'd jump that fastball up 2 or 3 miles an hour, and you'd see guys not able to catch up with it at all.
Right.
French to Blaylock. There's action, by the way, in the Tiger bullpen. Zach Miner has been throwing. Rangers out hitting the Tigers 7-6 and leading the game 5-3. They won 5-2 last night. And we were still buzzing about Tommy Hunter's performance even today. That was pretty impressive.
Yes, it was.
Blaylock chasing, and down he goes. They'll leave the inning to Andrew Jones. This kid Luke French has got something, huh, Buzz?
Yeah, he does. He not overpowering, and I'm sure you guys have talked about that, but he changes speeds just a little bit. He probably has about a 10-mile-an-hour range between his slowest pitch and his hardest pitch, but it seems like he spots up his fastball pretty well at will.
Hey, by the way, not for nothing, Mark Burley right now, 5 1/3 in the books.
Perfect. Wow.
Now, Johnny Vandermeer with the back-to-back no-hitters. The only guy to do that. Andrew Jones will be put on intentionally here to get to Hamilton. Again, kind of a recent phenomenon. This was around the time last year. We were talking about this yesterday, Buzz, where Hambone got walked with the bases loaded. And now they're pitching around guys like Cruz and Jones to get to Hamilton. Just kind of shows you where things have gone. But I'd be interested to get your reaction real quick to Mark Burley, because you're a guy that's a very rare major leaguer to have 2 no-hitters in the books. To do this back-to-back.
Yeah.
And I mean, you ran out of the chute right after your no-hitter, right? And had things going.
Both of them I had no-hitters into the 6th inning both times. But Burley, if he's gone 5 1/3, that's 16 outs, and the 27 he had, that's 43. That's a new major league record.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I was just going to ask Josh.
41.
41 was the record.
Was the record,
Yeah.
Major League record.
He's now at 43 over his last 3 starts.
Yeah.
As of right
That's
now.
incredible.
Yeah, so the last 43 up, 43 down.
He's got 43 in 2 starts because he has 27 and 16, right?
Yep.
That's 43. And he must have got, did he get an out in his last start?
I'll have to look that up.
Because it's got to be more than 43, probably.
Tack that on. Whatever it is, every time he gets one, it's setting a new record.
Wow.
1 strike to count here to Hamilton with 2 on, 2 out. The Rangers leading 5-3. Mark Burley, and and all the attention that he's been getting lately too. We mentioned he went on Letterman and everything else. I mean,
what's he going to go on this time?
Hamilton floating it towards left field, down for a base hit. He needed that. Cleat Thomas's throw to the plate, too late. And a gorilla has just leaped off the back of Josh Hamilton. His first hit and his last 18 trips to the plate.
Well, it may not be the hardest ball Josh has hit, but I'm sure he enjoyed it as much as any base hit to drive in a run. Give the Rangers another insurance run. Pretty good pitch by French. It's away from him. Hits it a little bit off the end of the bat. Just loops it. Pretty strong throw home, but Marlin turned on the speed about halfway to home and got in there easily.
And that's the one thing, Tom, we haven't seen from Josh Hamilton is that little looper for an RBI hit. We saw a lot of those last year, particularly against good left-handers.
Yeah. I guess when you're not going well, everything's being caught. You hit it hard, it's right at somebody. You hit it soft, it's right at somebody. So nice to see Josh find a hole like that.
#1 pick in the country 9 years ago. In the meantime, we're talking about a 38th round draft pick in Mark Burley, who has just set a big league record. It's now 44, or maybe it's 45 batters in a row that he's retired.
Man.
I just updated my computer screen. 5 2/3. Oh, he just walked somebody.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Well, you'd think he might give up a hit before he walks somebody.
Well, now he's in Steve Busby territory. Now, I got to ask you, Buzz. I mean, you're in the 6th inning.
Sure.
4 days, 3 days, 4 days after you've already pitched a no-hitter. How can that not be on your mind?
Well, I couldn't spell Johnny Vandermeer anyway, so it wasn't on my mind too much. No, it was one of those things, Josh, quite honestly, I never considered myself in the same ballpark with guys who threw no-hitters. It just didn't occur to me. So I didn't think along those lines. I was geared to what was going on in the game, and fortunately, the no-hitters and the games afterwards were very close ball games. So I was worried more about helping our ball club win and pitching well.
Saltalamacchia fouls another.
And that's the honest truth. I really mean that.
Well, that makes it, when you've got, is it good? If you're trying to throw a no-hitter, you got a no-hitter going, would you rather be in a close game or a blowout where you don't have to worry about how close the game is? You feel like you've got the game in hand.
I think you'll have to ask Nolan. He's the only one I can think of
that's ever had the chance to do it.
That thought about throwing a no-hitter. Yeah, he could do that when his A stuff was there.
Salty with a pop-up back this way. And now after the walk, it looks like he's now given up a hit, too. Yeah, the Twins have 2 on with 2 out in the 6th. The Jermaine Dye home run, the only scoring so far. The White Sox leading 1-0. So,
well, major league record. That's not bad.
Boy, that's a pretty good run, too. That beats the Owen by 4.
Well, the perfect game, he didn't exactly get against a weak hitting team. That was Tampa Bay he did that to.
Yep.
And then to go into the Metrodome and do that to the Twins for a little while tonight.
They're a pretty good hitting team, too. Mauer and Morneau to get through them. And they're both left-hand hitters, but they're both hitting about .330 against left-handed pitching, too.
And you think about it in the game against the Rangers that really had the no-hitter. Against powerful teams that are pretty much free swingers that really attacked the plate, which I think all 3 of those teams fall into that category, the Tampa Bay and Minnesota and the Rangers. When Burley's on and he's doing his thing, I could see where he would have mastery over. Now, I'm not saying he should throw a no-hitter every time out against those teams, but when he has his good command and he's running that ball on both sides of the plate, those are the kinds of teams that he's going to give fits to.
Runners are going, and there's a solid shot. What a play by Everett. He'll get up and throw it against Saltalamacchia. What a play. Everett inserted into the game when Santiago got hurt. Denies Saltalamacchia. Steve Busby, thank you as always.
All right, guys.
Awesome. Appreciate
Got another
it, man.
run tonight, Buzz. You're on a roll.
I am on a roll.
He'll be on Rangers Live after the game. Rangers, we go to Jim Knox.
Big night for Nate Oxford, 3-year-old right here. Wes Oxford is here. Nate is hosting some of his friends, courtesy of Texas Rangers Foundation and also Hello Win Column. Tell us about this, Wes.
Yeah, we just want to thank the Hello Win Column, also the Texas Rangers. My boys, I've got 3 sons, and they're big fans of Michael Young. They actually got to meet Michael Young before the game, and we just want to thank the Texas Rangers. Nate, my 3-year-old, was diagnosed with medulloblastoma cancer December 20th, and went through treatment for 6 months and recently relapsed. The diagnosis is not great at this point, but we've been praying, got a lot of fan support, and where we live out in Rockwall, and just a lot of family and friends. We've got several people here that also are going through a struggle with cancer in their family, and just want to thank the Rangers organization and Hello Win Column for inviting us out to the game.
Well, we thank you guys for being such great Ranger fans. Nate, best of luck, and Wes, best of luck as well. Thank you very much, and our prayers and thoughts are with little Nate. All right, big buddy. There we go. All right, Josh.
I'm glad y'all could be here tonight. Thank you, Jim. Carlos Guillen having flied out to center. Mags Ordonez takes the strike now. And Grilly zips ahead 0-2. Jason Grilly and Darren O'Day, the 2 guys acquired from National League teams quite under the radar, have just been sizzling out of that Ranger bullpen.
They really have, making a lot of good pitches.
Grilly used to be a Detroit Tiger. We haven't really talked about that yet, but he pitched well for them for a while. Fell out of favor briefly. And then he got pedaled away. Grilly strikes out his former teammate Maglio Ordonez.
Boy, got him to miss a really good slider, and then 93 miles an hour with a fastball on the outside corner.
Grilly's allowed 2 hits over his last 11 appearances. 13 scoreless innings, 2 hits in his last 13 innings. And because he, pitches sometimes in the 6th and the 7th, and it's occasionally 3-4 days in between appearances, it's the kind of streak that goes completely unnoticed. It's not like he's doing it at the end of a game. It's not like he's doing it on consecutive days, but the numbers are the numbers. Brandon Inge wasn't even close on that.
Taking some bad swings against him. And a pretty good pitch count, too. If you get him right here, he's going to be right at 20 pitches for 2 innings. 5 up, 5 down so far.
Mathis was averaging about 20 pitches per 1 inning, which is why he lasted only 4 innings tonight. Again, I'm sure he was hoping to go at least 5, be eligible for that win tonight. In there to Brandon Inge.
That's that slider. You're talking about both Grilli and O'Day. It's that breaking pitch, the slider, that they're able to throw on the outside corner that's really had great success for them. They pretty much pinpointed it every time they've been out there.
Inge will foul one away. We mentioned that Jason's dad is here. There's Steve Grilli with a mustache sitting next to Dale Petrosky.
Trying to have a conversation and watch his son pitch at the same time.
Is that a bit unnerving?
He has no idea what Dale's talking about right now. He's just nodding and watching his son. Good fastball.
Sonny boy done splendid. That's a happy pappy right there.
All right.
6-3 Rangers, bottom of the 6th coming up. Time for the Sonic Slam inning, brought to you by Sonic. The jackpot worth $700 plus tickets to a Ranger game and dinner for 2 at Sonic. The Rangers hitting for Francis Craig of Seagoville. If a Ranger hits a grand slam this inning, we're giving away $25,000. You can register at any North Texas Sonic restaurant. The pitching change for the Tigers as we get to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Rangers, who have been kind of challenged offensively the last couple weeks. Now they were able to get 5 runs yesterday. They've got 6 tonight. And they go from French to Minor. Zach Minor getting into his 28th game of the year. And is about to gear it up against 9-1-2 in the Rangers order. Andrews, Kinsler, and Young, who have all had big nights. I'll take you to our Coors Light freeze cam. And Elvis was on the move when things started to get interesting earlier tonight.
Ball glanced right off the side of his helmet, and you could see the angle that Cabrera had, which was basically no angle at all.
That was our Coors Light freeze cam, and here is Elvis Andrews getting it going in the bottom of the 6th. Crowd of around 20,000 it looks like here tonight on a humid Tuesday evening. Same 2 teams will be participating tomorrow night, 7:05 first pitch. We've seen Zach Minor as a starter for the Tigers before.
It's the first time in Luke French's brief major league career.
Andrews gives it a ride. Elvis at the wall. Elvis hits it out. 5 for his last 5. And the power is back for Elvis Andrus. He had that stretch of 2 extra base hits in 43 games. He's now got 3 extra base hits in his last 2.
It's almost like he's gotten his second wind right now. The dog days of August might have come early for Elvis in July, but he's rejuvenated right now, boy. He's swinging the bat well.
Homered right over his own smiling face out there. 7-3 Rangers, and a pitch behind Ian Kinsler. He's going to stare out and think, what's up with that? Remember, John Lackey threw behind Ian Kinsler and got ejected soon after.
If he's upset that someone hit a home run against him, take it out against that guy, not the next guy up. And again, you know, who knows? Maybe the ball just slipped out of his hand. There was a pitch that Jason really threw to Cleet Thomas that was up and over his head. Absolutely no reason why he would have done that other than it slipped out of his hand. So we'll give Zach Miner the same consideration and feel like that's exactly what happened to him, too.
Elvis already with a triple and a sac fly tonight. 3 runs batted in. That one called a strike. The fans didn't like it.
Finishing up on Luke French in his first 4 major league starts. He hadn't given up more than 2 earned runs. So in his 5th start tonight, the Rangers had a pretty good night.
And on the hands of Kinsler. Inge acrobatically able to take care of Ian.
Inge has a lot of range, a strong arm, and a lot of athleticism at that position.
He was a catcher slash shortstop slash pitcher in college. And we talked a lot when we were in Detroit last time about all the rumors of his just rampant athleticism, all the things he can do off a baseball field, how far he can drive a golf ball, how far he can kick a field goal, the fact that he can dunk a basketball.
Well, he did a fine job catching, but with his athletic ability, he's got the speed to play center field if you wanted to play him out there. Third base, I think he's actually more valuable playing a different position other than catcher because of the agility and speed that he has. And they're real happy with the job that Gerald Laird's doing behind the plate. Gerald Laird, percentage-wise, has thrown out the best percentage of base stealers in the American League this year. So he's doing exactly what the Tigers got him for. He's getting the night off. Dusty Ryan's catching tonight.
Michael Young bashes it, but it's vacuumed up by Adam Everett. Cabrera couldn't make the pick. And Michael Young is safe. Boy, Everett fields the ball so beautifully, so softly out there. Kind of a shame if you give an error on that, but I mean, heck, the ball was in the dirt. You force a scoop.
Well, you take that play for granted when you see Hank Blaylock making it time after time after time, and actually a tougher play than that. That was a short hop there. A couple that Hank has made in the last few days have bounced way out in front of him, or Chris Davis, or Mark Teixeira, whoever the Ranger first baseman has been over the last number of years. That play is routine for them. But it's not necessarily a routine play for everybody else.
They're going to give the error to Cabrera, saying that indeed he should have been able to scoop it.
You don't see an error on a first baseman very often, or anybody, when the ball coming to them bounces. But it wasn't that difficult a bounce. It was a short hop. So kind of a courageous call for the scorekeeper right there.
Marlon Byrd hits it in the air to center. Out number 2, and we go to Dana Larson.
Well, Josh, it's time for our friendly 6th inning reminder to join us on Facebook. It's facebook.com/Fox Sports Southwest, where you can find, among many great things, of course, the latest edition of Batting Stance Guide. Take a look at his latest imitation and then venture a guess, and do so on our Twitter page. It's twitter.com/FS Southwest, and we'll reveal the answer on the postgame show, Rangers Live. Now, many of you have already tweeted your answer, and let me tell you, a lot of you are right on. Then there are a few who aren't even close, so I'd like to give you this opportunity to rethink and, shall we say, retweet. Try again. We got second chances for you here. All of that, much more coming up on the postgame show. Josh and Tom.
All right, thank you, Dana. We're talking Twitter and Facebook and all kinds of fun stuff. Rangers leading 7-3. They've got single runs in the 4th, 5th, and 6th to go with that 4-run second. Couple of strikes now to Nelson Cruz. Tigers committing 3 errors in this game for just the 3rd time all year. Have they committed that many in one game? That's been one thing that has been gloriously absent for the Rangers this year. They have not had 3 and 4 error games. We sometimes talk about records that'll never be broken. The all-time Major League record tag for errors in one game by both teams combined is 18. And that was back in 1903. The White Sox made a dozen. These Tigers made a half a dozen.
Well, I think one thing that'll keep that from happening is the fields are so much better. You don't get the bad bounces, and the gloves are so much bigger.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I doubt that one will ever be broken.
Got 3 errors combined in this game. That seems like a big deal. You've also got Elvis leaving the you-know-what. With his 4th home run of the season, it is 7-3 Rangers. Texas Ranger Baseball brought to you by your North Texas Chevy dealers. You're invited to the Chevy Open House. And by Hand-Cooked Tires. Tame the road with Hand-Cooked Tires. Omar Vizquel is in the game at second base, and we'll show you why. When Ian Kinsler was trying to beat out that ground ball last half inning, watch, he's going to pull up just before the bag. Kind of wincing right there. We won't speculate, but looks like the Rangers will err on the side of caution right here. Vizquel into the game at second. They'll be teamed with Elvis Andrus, so you've got 42 years old and 20 years old playing together.
Yeah, the Rangers are in kind of a tough situation as far as the personnel on the team goes. They've only got 3 extra men. Tonight it's David Murphy, Taylor, and Omar. Now you've got Omar in the game, so it's difficult for a manager to maneuver. And they've been going about a week with only 3 extra men, but they've needed the guys in the bullpen. They needed Nippert when Kevin could only go 2 innings. They needed Doug for sure tonight. And even with 8 guys in the bullpen, they're still a little thin out there.
Eddie Guardado obviously in the ball game now. We'll set his numbers in just a moment. And Eddie gesturing to the Tiger bench. Don't chirp, says Eddie. Zip it. Getting on Eddie for throwing in on Everett. Wow, Eddie taking command out there.
And what Leland's saying now is fine. One was thrown by us, but what about the one that was thrown over Cleve Thomas's head? That's their perspective.
Editorial commentary from Jim Leland added at no extra charge. There's a strike to Adam Everett.
For people scoring at home, that went Michael Young's from an E3 to an E6.
Well, they have changed it.
They have changed that.
Everett pops it up, and Guardado kind of goes to the back of the mound to shake everything off. It's been an interesting couple of minutes here. Makes that catch and a little flip. A lot of stuff going on here all of a sudden. Got that guy yelling at that guy yelling at that guy. Can't we all just get along? Outside now to Dusty Ryan, 2-0. I would say a rumble between Jim Leland and Eddie Guardado would certainly get people watching. Wave and a miss by Dusty Ryan. 85-mile-an-hour fastball that Eddie's not shy about throwing. Of course, Guardado, with all those years that he spent in Minnesota, he faced these Tigers quite a bit. The Tigers led this game 3-0. The Rangers came right back with a 4-run second. Single runs now in the 4th, 5th, and 6th, and it's up to the bullpen, which, as we've been talking about, has just been dazzling the last 8 or 9 weeks specifically. Strike 3, outside corner. Eddie Guardado getting tough. Called on the outside edge.
Definitely tried to pitch him away that time. Everything except number 4. He should have hit number 4. That was the one good pitch to hit.
Now Guardado to Granderson. And Granderson lines it into the crowd.
Ouch.
Check your forward leaderboard. You know, the Rangers last July, their ERA was historically awful. It was about 7. This July, it's been in the 3 and under range since the All-Star break, 2.74. Not worst in the American League, but best in the American League. So as the offense has been kind of going in fits and starts, as we keep talking about, it's been the pitching that's been carrying the day for Texas. Let's face it, folks around here just aren't used to that. The dog days, the hot weather in July. Traditionally in this ballpark, you see 9 runs, 10 runs sometimes allowed. This year's pitching staff says no, we're not doing that. Well, Guardano's got a chance to back up some tough talk here in the 7th. A little pop-up. Michael Young will chase. And he has got it. Eddie Guardano off the mound. Taking the Rangers to the stretch. It is 7-3. AT&T Rapid Rewind. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered.
I think the rapid rewind's becoming one of my favorite parts of the game.
I love that.
I love it too.
Really, really well done too. Rip and a miss by Hank Blaylock as the bottom of the 7th is underway. They say a picture's worth 1,000 words, so that makes the broadcaster somewhat obsolete, but I would still agree with that notion. Zach Minor's 2nd inning, and we should point out that in between innings, Tag, that Jim Leland went out to talk to both the home plate umpire Andy Fletcher and the crew chief Tim McClellan. There was a pitch behind Ian Kinsler. There was a pitch in to Adam Everett.
Oh, there was a pitch over Clete Thomas's head too. Those weren't the only two. That was Leland's point.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make the point for him, but it was pretty obvious what he was doing.
Then the unusual conversation between bench and pitcher.
Again, what Leland is saying, okay, Eddie threw the ball in, and if you're throwing the ball in because of the ball that Minor threw behind Kinsler, then what about the ball that Jason Grilly threw over the head of Clete Thomas? If you're the Tigers, you're saying there's one for you, now the one behind Kinsler is one for us, and it's over. Well, I think that was the point Leland was trying to make.
One down, bottom 7. We again go to Jim Knox.
All right, Josh, got a big-time Ranger fan with an interesting proposal for his girlfriend. What's this all about, Kobe?
I just want Lefty to read the sign and tell her that I have everything for her so we can get married.
Okay, you're asking Letty to call you, right? If she calls, I tell you what, in between, because you bring the sign, because you're a big-time Ranger fan, you are the progressive fan of the game. If this doesn't work out, here's a consolation prize.
Here's a tote bag.
Congratulations, all right? So there you go. So we'll see what happens. We may have him on Rangers Live after the game and get the answer. Good luck. Letty, give Kobe a call.
Well, that's a pretty even trade.
It's either marital bliss or a tote bag, isn't it?
Well, that's going to take the sting out of it for sure. If she calls up and says no, well, I don't care. I got a tote bag.
No, right. Not so. Not so much with you, Kobe, but
he also has a hat as well as his shirt,
okay.
guys, so that ups the ante right there.
Okay.
as long as there's
In that
a hat.
case,
Andrew Jones with a pop-up. You know, if he's really living large, he'll get a yes, and Jim will let him keep the tote bag.
yeah, I don't think he's taking the tote bag back either way. Oh, out
Phone's
of
ringing.
batteries. He's out of batteries. She said yes.
Did she say? Do you think Jim's
He
getting?
said yes.
She said yes. She got the message. Way to go, Letty.
Do you think there's any chance that Jim's being punked right now? That on the other end of that phone is some guy named Dave that's just a buddy?
All I know is that might be the least romantic proposal in history.
Give this to Letty, says Jim. All right. Meantime, Josh Hamilton takes outside. You're right. It's not exactly skywriting. And...
Oh,
okie doke.
well, she said yes anyway, so all's well that ends well.
The 1-1 to Hamilton is outside. Tigers had that 3-run top of the second. And the Rangers just marching on back. Hamilton flies to left. He had one bloop in for him earlier to break a slump. Rangers at the end of 7 are leading the Tigers 7-3. And folks, don't forget Friday nights at Rangers Ballpark. Those are fantastic fireworks Fridays. $10 tickets, $5 parking available to see the Rangers and Mariners this Friday. Enter fireworks as a coupon code at TexasRangers.com, sponsored by 105.3 The Fan. Rangers make another pitching change as we go to the 8th. Doug Mathis went the first 4 tonight, in for the ailing Vicente Padilla. Jason Grilli, 2 quality innings. Eddie Guardado was solid for an inning. Now here's Darren O'Day, the Tony Romo lookalike, we've been told. 1.91 ERA. 33 strikeouts, only 8 walks. This is kind of like when you're, I've never done the metal detector thing at a beach, but I would think this would be like finding a gold watch under the sand. You know, this is just a guy the Rangers found on the waiver wire. And he's been a huge part of what they've been doing here in 2009. There's a strike to Polanco.
The Ranger bullpen so far 9 up, 9 down with 4 strikeouts. 2 innings for Jason Grilli, 1 inning for Eddie.
Isn't that something that has been such an Achilles heel for this franchise for a lot of years? Has been such a strength here in 2009. That's the bullpen. Tough part of the order here, 2, 3, and 4. Polanco, one of the rare guys who chokes up a little bit on the bat. That did not used to be rare. Ground ball slapped to third. Michael Young got his man. As we say, thank you, Cleveland Indians. They've got an early 1-0 lead tonight in Anaheim. The Rangers started the night 2 games back in the loss column in that AL West. And plenty of head-to-head still left against the Halos.
Doug retired the last 3 batters he faced after giving up 2 singles in the 4th inning. Pitched out of that jam very nicely. So since the single by Inge in the 4th, there hasn't been a base runner for the Tigers.
Yep, 13 up and 13 down. So check the Jack in the Box standings in the aforementioned AL West. Seattle's got a 1-0 lead over Toronto early. Red Sox leading the A's tonight 7-4. That game has gone to the 9th, and Papelbon is on the mound. The Rays beat the Yankees tonight 6-2. Scott Kazmir over CC Sabathia. Tampa Bay trying to make its move. They're 6.5 behind the Yankees now. Kansas City's taken a 4-3 lead in Baltimore in the 11th. They've got Joakim Soria in the game now. Popped foul by Thomas. In Minnesota, not only did Mark Burley lose his bid for a 2nd consecutive perfect game, but now the Twins are leading 5-1 after 7. Burley has set an all-time record, though. He got to, I believe it was 45 consecutive batters retired before he allowed a walk and a hit. Padres beat the Reds tonight 3-2. Adrian Gonzalez, home run number 27. In on the fists of Thomas. And into the crowd it goes. Crowd of 21,615 tonight. Thomas gets around on this one. Lobs it to right, where it's tracked and caught by Nelly Cruz. And we go again to Dana Larson.
Hey guys, yes, it is me yet again. This time here to tell you about Rangers Live coming up right after the game. First and foremost, and as always, we have great Ranger reaction to this game from Ron Washington on down. And as you mentioned, those Angels, the Rangers trying to take advantage of their mini rough patch right now. We'll update the standings. Also set up tomorrow's finale. Scott Feldman, we will hear from him. That's all coming up right after the game on Rangers Live.
Very nice. Thank you very much, Dana. Swing and a miss here by Cabrera. The Rangers already 13 games over 500. Hadn't been there all year until last night. They haven't been to 14 games over yet. Haven't been there since 2004. Got a chance tonight. Rangers trying to go 8-1 in their last 9 games. They've already secured a winning month of July. The rest of July will feature these Tigers and then the Mariners. There's a challenging road trip coming up. It's a long one. Only one winning team on that docket, but it's the Angels. And overall, the Rangers will be gone for 11 days. High pop-up. Blaylock settling near it. He's got it. 15 straight set down by Texas Ranger pitching. And it is a 7-3 lead in the middle of the 8th. Home, 11 out of their last 13 here at home. They're leading tonight 7-3, and tomorrow a challenge. Justin Verlander, 11-5 for the Rangers counter with Scott Feldman, who's 9-3. 7:05 first pitch. Hope you can join us. It's an Ozarka website Wednesday. It's a Dr. Pepper autograph Wednesday. Saltalamacchia kind of chips it off the end of the bat. One pitch into the inning, one out. And Elvis Andrus with 2 singles and a home run tonight coming up next. Go back to yesterday, and it's 5 for his last 5. Elvis has gone from a batting average of 247 to 264. All right, could you grow a beard like that and keep it that well trimmed like Elvis has got it? I don't think I could.
Probably not.
Get some serious style points right there. Guillermo Moscoso just brought up today. Willie Ayer sent down. I'm sure Willie will be back at some point. I don't think Willie did anything wrong. You just needed an arm that was available to be stretched out a little bit tonight, right?
I think that's right. I think just in case anything happened to Doug early in the game, I think the Rangers felt more comfortable with Moscoso, who's been a starter in AAA, as a guy who could come in and give you whatever you needed. 100 pitches, I guess, if you needed it. I thought Willie was throwing the ball pretty well. And I'm sure the Rangers did too, and I'm sure he'll be back at some point in time.
Moscoso was supposed to be the starting pitcher for Oklahoma City tonight in Albuquerque. Instead, he's warming in the Ranger bullpen here in Arlington. Shattered bat, look out. That That goes flying into the crowd, and Elvis is out at first base. Boy, the foam hat and the bat. Thankfully, it looks like everybody's okay over there. That's scary when that happens. Now the first at bat coming for Omar Vizquel. We don't have any injury report on Ian Kinsler. Remember, Ian was trying to leg out that infield hit in the 6th inning.
It looked like just the way he pulled up at first base, some kind of a leg injury, maybe a hamstring injury. Hopefully it's just kind of a precautionary thing. Keep our fingers crossed on that.
Even if it's a couple days or something like that, this is where you love having Omar Vizquel. Omar hasn't really had to be unleashed for any extended playing time at all this year. Just kind of occasionally spotting in, either at short or at second. Flicked into the crowd, it's 2-2. By the way, Cleveland now leading 2-0 in Anaheim. In a perfect world, the Rangers could get back to within 1 in the loss column tonight. Floated behind second base. Everett's got it. And now we go to the 9th. The Rangers needing 3 outs, and they will make it. 8 wins in their last 9 games. Texas Ranger Baseball, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com, grab your bag, it's on. By Progressive Insurance. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. And by the Ford F-150, it's not just a pickup truck, it's a Ford F-150. Guillermo Moscoso will get a chance to face his former organization. He was the guy the Rangers got when they gave up Gerald Laird. Now Moscoso just brought back to the big leagues from Oklahoma City. Opens up against Carlos Guillen, and a strike is dealt. Native Venezuelans matching up here. Rangers leading 7-3, having trailed 3-0. And with Doug Mathis going only 4 innings, it is the official scorer's call here, right? Tag to award the win where he deems it appropriate. Grilly is the guy that went 2 innings, and
yeah, I'm sure he would give it to Grilly.
That would be my guess.
Everyone in the bullpen, Grilly, Guardado, O'Day, pitched great. 6 up, 6 down, 3 up, 3 down, and 3 up, 3 down. 15 straight retired, counting the 3 that Doug got to end the 4th.
Moscoso, you saw the numbers at AAA. Very good. Last year was between Single A and Double A in the Tigers organization. "25 years old. And Guillen with a base hit into center.
That was a pretty good pitch.
First base runner for the Tigers since the 4th inning. And ends that streak of 15 in a row set down by the Rangers.
Maybe a slider down out of the strike zone, and Guillen lines that pitch into center field. That's pretty nice hitting on a tough pitch.
Only because Guillen is on do we now see some action in the Ranger bullpen. Mags Ordonez hits one high and deep. At the warning track, it will die there.
It becomes a save opportunity if one other man reaches. That's why CJ's throwing out there.
Yep, if the tying man is on deck.
I'm sure Ron would like to get through this 9th inning and not have to use CJ.
Well, the A's have come back against Jonathan Papelbon, a 3-run top of the 9th. Tag at 7-7 at Fenway.
Don't see that very often.
Well, the Rangers have a chance to gain that means in the wild card, as well as trying to close a little closer in the West. The Indians still lead the Angels tonight 2-0 in the 2nd.
Boston and the Angels came into the game with the same record tonight, 58-40.
Couple of strikes to Brandon Inge. The Rangers trying to get to 56-42. It'll be the best record they've had in 5 years. Got him. Brandon Inge is down on strikes. Lessening the chances that C.J. Wilson will have to come in. High cheese from Moscoso. Adam Everett trying to keep it alive. Marcus Thames has come out into the on-deck circle just in case the Tigers indeed get Everett on board. But the Rangers can end it right here. Still waiting on word of the severity of the Kinsler injury. Didn't look that bad, but you never know. Fingers are crossed. Kinsler had a huge night. 3 runs batted in. Elvis Andrews, 3 runs scored. 1-2 now. They're 8-1 in their last 9. They are 56-42. And looking to make a move now. Coming back from down 3-0. The Rangers prevail tonight 7-3. Rangers Live is coming up.